Hi class, this is Janice. I want to do a short little presentation here on planning your writing, and you want to do your planning before you start writing business communications, text messages to friends, emails, reports, any kind of writing that you are doing. I want to give you 4 easy planning steps, and it's called the Communication Square. I took a class many years ago on creative writing, and they used a textbook by a woman called Maxine Hairston, and she did a whole chapter on this Communication Square, and it really made me a very effective writer following these 4 simple steps. So I want to share these with you, and I hope it will help you with your writing, not only for this class, but for all classes. Now, the key is to analyze each of these 4 things before you begin your writing. For me in this class, you're going to write out your planning page here, but for any other type of writing that you do, at least analyze these 4 things mentally before you begin. It will save you a lot of agony in the writing process. And the 4 things, and each of these in Maxine's book is on the side of a square. So one is the audience, then the other side is purpose, persona, and message. Square has 4 sides. Each one of these goes on the side. Most important thing you can do is analyze your audience. You want to know who your audience is. You want to get a feel for what they want from your writing. You as the author have to design your writing to the audience. Nobody wants to waste time. They don't want to read a lot of stuff they already know or don't care about. So you want to tailor your writing to the audience. So identify your audience. Who are they? Who's going to be reading this? What do they know? You don't have to give them a lot of background information if they already know it. Then what do they want to know? I reversed these. I'm sorry, that's not a big problem. What do they want to know from your reading? These 2 go hand in hand. You want to give them the answers to what they want to know, and you don't want to repeat the material of what they already do know. And another way to get a handle on this is ask yourself why the audience is reading this. If you figure out why they're reading this, you're going to be more easily able to answer what do they want to know and what do they already know. Also, you want to consider the secondary audience. Many times the person that you're writing to is going to give this message to someone else. So you need to be aware of if someone else is reading this, who is it? You don't want to go swearing at the bosses if you know this letter is going to eventually end up at the bosses. So it's really important to consider the secondary audience. Okay, purpose. Folks, if you don't know what your purpose is in writing this message, you're not going to be successful. You have to know what you want to do. So before you start writing, always fill in this little sentence. My purpose is to blank, so my readers will blank. My purpose is to convince my audience so that they'll accept my proposal. My purpose is to get my audience to understand why it's necessary to change a corporate policy. Fill in this sentence before you do any of your writing, and you will make your job so much easier. Persona. Persona really comes from the Greek word for mask. And if you have ever seen any of the Greek tragedies, the ancient Greek tragedies performed, or seen videos or read them, you know that the actors wore masks. And, if they were happy, it was a smiling mask. If they were sad, it was a frowning mask. So the term persona means mask. And in terms of writing, it means how do you want to come across in your writing? Do you want to sound angry? Do you want to sound friendly? Do you want to sound very professional? Do you want to sound compassionate? So it comes down to the tone that you're going to use in your message. You also want to establish your credibility. We all, go on social media and people don't establish their credibility. Why should you believe these things these people are saying? A great deal of it's false anyway. I think you all know that. So in your writing, you need to establish your credibility. That's called your ethos, your ethics. But that comes through simply by stating, having been in this profession for 6 years, I have, etc., etc. So you're establishing what you want to do. Now, message is just really your main point. And after you've analyzed your audience, your purpose, your persona, then decide what your main point's going to be. Because the reason Maxine liked to show this as a square is when you do this analyzing, as you analyze your audience, well, your purpose could change. As you analyze your purpose, your persona could change. So you want to take all 4 of these things into account before you do any writing. Again, you will be turning in an audience purpose analysis with every writing that you do for me as the formal assignments. So I want you to keep this in mind. Your textbook calls this the AIM method. It's a little more geared for business writing. This communication square is for any writing, and he talks about the AIM method in the text. And a little later, I will add another presentation here on the AIM method. If you have any questions, you know how to reach me. Take care.